Welcome back to my story on how I built a workshop under 10,000 euros. In this final episode, I will explain how we paved the driveway around the building and painted the concrete floor. I bought 6 pallets of concrete bricks, which are 10 by 20 centimeters and 6 centimeters thick. And we started paving. My dad is much more experienced in tasks like this, so he did a majority of work here. We used the sand, which was left from concrete works, to level and compact the surface. I decided to use this fake herringbone pattern. It looks like herringbone only from certain angles. The real herringbone should look like this. My herringbone was much more simple, and we did that because it saves a lot of waste and time. For the pattern we used, we had to cut only a few bricks in half. For the normal herringbone, all the bricks at the edges should be cut. We kept it simple. So we started from this corner and moved to the left, along the front curb. I left the brick cutting for later as we wanted to pave big area as soon as possible. As for cutting the bricks in half, I marked the centers with a Sharpie and used this totally safe diamond cutting disc on an angle grinder. Okay, I strongly do not recommend using a disc this big on a smaller tool. It's just me being brave and stupid. This is not an advice by any means. Here you can see those half bricks in their places. I had to cut about 50 bricks in half for the whole perimeter of the pavement. Work in progress here, and for this side I had to cut all of the bricks lengthwise, which was a bit dusty and time-consuming work. In this shot you can see the majority of the driveway finished. The area is 5 by 8 meters, so 40 square meters in total. I also had to cut some bricks to eliminate the gap near the foundation of the workshop. In this area between the last row of the bricks and the foundation, we put some concrete instead of bricks, because car wheels would crush those very narrow bricks. We put some concrete underneath this last row of the bricks as well, just to keep this whole section a bit more sturdy. To fill the gaps between these bricks, I bought a few bags of this crushed granite. I was using this broom to sweep the granite into the gaps. This process had to be repeated a few times because due to bricks settling down into their position, small granite pieces fall deeper and new granite has to be added. But after a couple of weeks the granite was not sinking anymore and this job was completed. At that time, not the whole paving work was done, but I wanted to fill all the gaps between the bricks so we could walk and even park a car on the surface that was already paved. After paving the biggest front section, we moved to this side, which is 2 by 10 meters. After that, we completed paving this narrow strip around the building. And after a few days hard work, everything was finally completed. So our work with the exterior was done. My next task was painting the concrete slab inside the workshop. First, I needed to clean the floor. There were a lot of heavy particles left after grinding uneven concrete on the foundation and the slab itself. After cleaning the space, I moved all the stuff to one side and started priming the foundation and floor. My criteria for the paint was it has to be durable, gray and cheap. I bought 5 buckets of 2.7 liters each. It was sufficient to cover the area of 60 square meters in 2 coats. Prior to priming and painting, I decided to patch the bigger holes and grooves with a concrete mix. And after the concrete was dry, I started priming the foundation first. I did not use a roller for the first coat because I wanted to make sure I reach all the spots and imperfections. For priming the first coat on the slab, I used this white brush. This primer is a very liquid substance, like milk, so it was very easy working with it. For the second coat, I finally used the roller. The primer was not absorbing that fast now, so work was moving much faster with the second coat. After the second coat of the primer was dry, I mixed the paint very well and started painting the foundation with a brush. I was not too careful because I'm planning to put the baseboards on top of the foundation to cover the gap between it and the drywall. Together with the foundation, I also painted the perimeter of the slab and some nooks and crannies which I would not be able to reach with a roller. And then I continued rolling the paint on the whole surface. It was much harder painting than priming, because this paint was very sticky, smelly, and covered the surface much more slowly. After the first coat of the paint was dry, I applied the second coat. After it was dry, I once again needed to swap all the stuff from the left of the workshop to this freshly painted area. I primed the section in 2 coats, also painted it in 2 coats as well, and the paint job was done. I was quite happy with how this looked, but the smell is still there, even after a few weeks have passed already. So, the painting was done, the patio outside was installed, and the project was finished. Well, mostly finished. I am very happy that I could draw the plan myself, and the final result was very close to the plans. There is still a lot of smaller tasks left to complete for this build, but I can finally start using this space for my hobby and possibly for more content on YouTube. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next one. Cheers!